one desires to walk with the Brotherhood of Truth, one either rebels and runs away, or one moves within the silence of knowledge and wisdom and continues to work at that which is available to service. The journey to understanding of actions and testing are hard indeed, for God spares not rod in the teaching of those who will stand that final hour in truth, without turning from his presence. And then, dear ones, there shall be no silence, for the songs of the universe become thine, and the senses are filled with the dance of light, life and harmony. The testing is hard and few make it, dear hearts. Few make it. Rejoice as ye ones reach one graduation marker after another, for in this manner shall ye reach the final graduation. There is no other way except through that red road of truth, back home unto God. Interpretations are what stand between you and the clarity of perception that you will need to do the work that lies ahead. You must release them with your thoughts, with your dreams, with your hopes, and with your fears. They may seem to be insignificant, ethereal things, floating gently through your mind or heavily upon it, but do not be misled by their apparent lack of substance. They are the stuff that wars are made of, the harbingers of death, the agents of disease and destruction. With the energy that you give them through your attention, they have the strength to cripple a planet and all its civilization. There is an old myth regarding a tree in the center of the Garden of Eden. Why do you suppose the Lord forbade those first recognized humans to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil? If indeed he did so, it might well have been thine dark brother who set you up. At any rate, only one with a consciousness of the whole of creation is in a position to determine the good and evil, as it pertains to the various creatures. In the other reality, the first humans shared in the holistic perspective of the Creator, but in the form reality, their perspective was decidedly subjective, incapable of accurately assessing the needs of the whole. They could not creatively direct the course of those who had projected forms functioning within creation. Only the totality of consciousness, God the Father, the Creator, was in such a position. So long as they had trust in Him and were willing to function within the range of their design, within the context of the Creator's own internal dynamics, they had complete freedom to enjoy the created realms. Now consider why the Dark Brotherhood had to come in the deceiving, by pretending to be the lighted God. He could present himself as a wondrous God and fool the perceiver, and cause them to act as if his were the laws of the Creator God. Well, the old boy is a God. He is a God. The God of the fleshly physical experience of evil intent. He cannot create and therefore must utilize that which is consciously aware of predicament. You, the human species. All other creatures act in balance and harmony by instinct. In the parable of the partaking of the forbidden fruit, these first representatives of deity stepped outside the range of their designated function, consequently, outside the range of the creative energy that was available to them, according to the nature of their design. This was the beginning of disease, aging, and death, the beginning of their pattern of false identity, and the beginning of human history, so to speak. The pattern of false identity has lasted and increased in intensity unto this very day of perceived experience in your format, and while it has not critically affected the gestation period, it has certainly made it far less enjoyable. Might you now see more clearly why it is absolutely essential in these closing days of the cycle to release your interpretations? They belong to the past. Life exists eternally in the present. You were intended to share in this eternal life. But to do so, you must release identification with the past lies put upon you for your misinformation and misperceptions. You must release identification with the material garments you wear and accept the creative definition that life gives to you in this present moment. What do you call Satan? His body is the past, his breath the future. Energized by your past-oriented guilt and your future-oriented fear, he follows you around like some vast cosmic shadow. He casts his nets of fear on the waters of your awareness, then draws them with ropes of reason back into a guilt-ridden past. You can only experience in the moment. All is the present, and you must re-evaluate that which is fed unto your consciousness, lest you end your journey before coming into understanding. Let me illustrate for the sake of example. Your presence might well be compared to an inflatable balloon, a plasmic membrane of sorts. It is designed to be filled to the full with the energy and power of life. Like two gigantic rips in the side, guilt and fear allow the precious life substance to escape, leaving you withered, ineffectual, and short-lived, all the while using your own life substance to energize everything that you fear. It is easy to reverse the situation. Let yourself die to the past and wake up in the present moment. Why should you hesitate? Are your past experiences really comprehensive enough to provide a basis for understanding everything you encounter in the present? Do they truly deserve the authority and credibility that you give them? How attentive were you to all the factors that were present in the moment of their occurrence? If you are preoccupied with experience, how attentive will you be to what is occurring in this very moment? Where is your attention right this moment? You must be wherever your attention takes you. In fact, you are your attention. If your attention is fragmented, you are fragmented. When your attention is in the past, you are in the past. When your attention is in the present moment, you are in the presence of God, and God is present in you. Let yourself die to all that does not really exist, and discover what does. Let go of all you think you know. Be honest, all you know is of the past. It does not exist in the eyes of God. In the eyes of God, your knowledge is but dust in the eye of a child, blinding you to the splendor of creation. You know in effect nothing of eternal significance, for you have forgotten that which really was and cling unto that which is brief and spoiled by the lies given to trip you up along the path of experience. When you operate on the basis of your so-called knowledge, you are operating without divine foundation. Belief in your own knowledge is not belief in God, dear ones. Trust in your own knowledge is not trust in God. No matter how much you learn within your present framework of finite knowledge, it will never be even one step closer to an understanding of God, the universe, or yourself. Knowledge, as you presently understand it, will never bring you closer to life. Do not cling in imagined righteousness, for that is where many of you continually reside. Do not cling to this or that segment of your experience as if this or that piece of the past were somehow worth the saving. Well, you say, I will die to everything, but this or that. This is too sacred. This means too much to me. Let it go. Does it mean more than life? You don't need it anymore, whatever it might be. You are usually concerned that some aspect of your identity will not somehow survive the psychological process. You might well be correct in the perception of same, but you may just as well be wrong. Let it go. It makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. There are no guarantees that this or that is going to survive the sight of God, but the only things that are threatened, the only things that will not survive, are things that do not exist apart from your conceptions, things that have no reality. Apart from the reality that you give them, the only essential thing to you is being sustained by the creative power of the living God. All that you sustain in existence through the misuse of your creative abilities only serves to involve you in areas where your own life energies become mischanneled and eventually dissipated. Any belief, any concept, any conviction that you might have that truly mirrors what is present in the mind of God will still be there on the other side of the psychological process. Only that which has sought to cheat you of your destiny will perish. It is really very simple. Let it all go. See what God has in store. Hesitations which you feel are only indicative of a continued trust in fear and reason. These are the false gods of the cycle of the ages in which you find yourself experiencing. They will continue to enslave you until your trust is restored in love and life. Trust God implicitly and explicitly. and the truth of his divine design will be revealed in every situation. This design is your own operating manual. Ignore it in favor of your own interpretations, and you are ignoring the blueprint for your own identity. Specific information of each and every situation is being supplied to you continually by the source of infinite knowledge. Why do you not trust it? Your first impulse will always be, as it has always been, the programmatic instruction from your subliminal analysis system, the advice of your Creator. It will be a direct message from your true self, the impulse of life, the gateway to all that you call heaven. It is the spontaneous spark of divinity, as it differentiates through you into your environmental situation. It can assess and evaluate the factors present in any situation at a rate of speed far exceeding a rational thought process. You have all the pertinent information in the universe available simply for the asking, as quickly received as the thought itself, actually prior to the thought itself. When you are aware of your totality, the life impulse will transmit to you everything that you need to know in any given situation. Its message will always come as your first spontaneous impulse, so you must be attentive and then do not effort so hard at discounting of it. You will always be given to know instantly that response requested. Until you recognize your own totality, how can ye expect to guide thine brother through the maze, for it will be through example that he will learn and see, not from all the lecturing in the universe. So be it. You ones can know every detail of the plans of the elite Brotherhood of Darkness for your downfall, and still not have the slightest notion of that which you can do about it, without coming into understanding of self. We simply must take the time away from the physical aspect and perceptions to speak of the spiritual truth, lest you become distracted into the frivolous as if it were a sacred thing unto life. It is only pertinent unto death of physical perceptions, and yet, you are manifested into the dimension of physical experience, and thusly must the experience be confronted, and the changes must come through the power and control of the spiritual knowledge of truth. God does not move from man. Man efforts to move from God. These are the words which will save men's souls in this blind journey. Man flounders upon the brink of destruction, and cannot seem to grasp a handhold on the polished surface of the mountainside. We must build him a stairway if we expect to help him reach the stars. May we never falter in our work lest our brothers perish in the darkness. Thank you.